I like that one.
You like that one?
Yeah.
That's the okay.
That you don't know, because when you say nothing existed before you, or like, obviously that's wrong. Your mom can tell you that I met your dad before you were here, right? That's obviously that can't be true, right? Sorry.
Does my mother exist to me if I don't exist?
Your mother existed before you.
No, I'm asking you, if I don't exist,
Yes.
does my mother exist to me?
But that's circular. You
Yes.
don't exist. So there's nothing we can
So
say.
there's nothing.
No, there's no to you if you don't exist.
Thank you. Many people are living a fake life. And in the living of the fakeness, we end up causing more harm than good. Marriage, in the way that it was formalized, from a Western perspective, was done so that women are protected, because women were second-class citizens. They were children, basically. Today, as I said, we've got freedom. By the time you get married, the whole of Zuluini has seen you naked, type of situation. And that becomes a problem.
Superstar of Khethuxolo, welcome back to the biggest YouTube channel. Make sure you feed my son. Don't do some crazy business there, my brother. We paid a lot of money. No, I'm joking. Superstar of Khethuxolo, welcome back to the biggest YouTube channel. Buffett from Jen and Ryan. If you haven't subscribed, please make sure you subscribe to the biggest YouTube channel in the country. Hit the notification button, comment, most importantly, share. You share this video to everyone, Buffett, and let them know I'm back inside the Bahle, in the biggest YouTube channel in the country. And Jen and Ryan, Buffett, this one is for the goats. This one is something that you've never seen before. We're live at MDZIMBA View for the first ever live podcast to happen in the country. So we're truly excited. Please tell us head down. This one, Buffett. This one, Buffett. I'm like in the comment section is live. I can see you guys. And I hope the questions are ready. So before we take things any further, Buffett, I'd like to give a special shout out to Ikleri Store. Ikleri Store is doing it big for the culture. Ikleri Store made sure we are able to have this amazing event. And it's situated like Malinga, Buffett. No Belinda, Sibosen Treza, no Belinda, Sibosen Asian. Buffett, make sure you check out Ikleri Store on Instagram, TikTok, on Facebook also. We are live, Buffett. We are everywhere. Make sure, and I'm struggling to see my camera. Where's my camera? Can't this is my camera. Oh yeah, thank you. Make sure, Buffett, you check out the Ikleri Store. And I'd like to take this opportunity since we are here and really give a shout out to Ikleri Store, because what I've noticed ever since we started working with them is that it's not only about Bahle, because a lot of people see Bahle live on TV, live on YouTube, and maybe they think I'm the only person that was lucky to work with Ikleri Store. Apparently, a lot of basketball events, a lot of young people in varsity, they are really tapped into the culture. Ikleri Store is there for the young people, and we are truly honored as young people in Eswatini to have companies such as Ikleri Store. There's no businesses, but they are doing it big for the community. So we'd like to give a shout out to Ikleri Store. Right now, we're about to introduce our guest all the way from South Africa. He's been here, and you guys complain that the time is too short. You should have asked this, you missed this, and all of that. So we took liberty to invite him to come back to the show. Not only come back to the show, but to make a live podcast so that you guys can interact live with him. So we are truly honored to have our big brother back on the biggest YouTube channel. Ladies and gentlemen, Penuel, the Penny in the all day. My brother, how are you?
I hope my mic is on. Sanbonan, Ninjani. I'm very honored and blessed to be in your beautiful country. Outside of the podcast episode that we shot at Banelewjlm, I remember my previous time visiting Eswatini being 2018 for bushfire. And I remember promising to come back, and then COVID happened, and I haven't visited since. I think every time I try to buy tickets are sold out. But I really love this country. I've got a soft spot for this country. I've got so many friends from Eswatini. I also want to echo what you said and just give a big shout out to Ikleri Store. Gamanzini. Thank you to all of you that are here today. Outside of maybe coming to see me, for the fact that you guys are supporting Banele, supporting the work that he's doing, it really means a lot to me. I have to bite my tongue. I come from just across the fence where we get to say whatever we want to say, especially about our leadership. I respect the fact that this is a different country. I'm here as a guest. So if anyone has got any funny questions for me, I'm not here to speak about anything that relates to Eswatini, but I'm happy to go as hard as you'd like me to go about things that happen in South Africa. So that's just my request. But Banele, thank you so much, brother. I'm honored to be here.
I'll go and say, this is what I was trying to say. When you say thank you so much, and we return by saying Bongansin, which like literally is our way of saying I'm truly honored that you are also here.
Thank you, brother.
So I didn't really, I don't want to lie, I didn't prep a lot for this conversation because already we had a conversation. So I didn't want us to sort of repeat what we talked about. So people must check out our first episode that we did because this is our second episode. But I wanted really to talk on some of the things that you post because you really post a lot of stuff. And I think sometimes you forget some of the stuff that you post.
Okay? Don't scare me, Baba. Don't bring files that are hidden.
No, but like now, because now we have quite enough time. Let's get into it. Where was Penuel the Pen born? Just in depth and detail. Then we want to get into your life, a day in the life of Penuel the Black Pen. How does your normal day look like?
Yeah. I don't know if I'm speaking to you or the cameras or the people here. What would you prefer?
Anyone.
Anyone? Everyone. I was born in a town called Newcastle. I don't know if you guys know Newcastle. It's in KwaZulu-Natal. So I'm from the kingdom of KwaZulu, even though we don't have our own country, sadly. I was born and bred and raised there. I did my university education in the Eastern Cape province in South Africa. And then I went to do my honors in accounting in Johannesburg, University of Johannesburg. From there, I went to work in banking for two of the biggest banks in the country. And then I decided that I want to get into entrepreneurship. I did that for a couple of years. And anyone who's ever tried to start business, especially if you don't have a background or a family, would know that it's very hard. I became overconfident. I started taking investors' money. I diversified too quickly and I lost. I literally lost millions. It forced me to introspect. I became depressed. And what was very key for me in that time was to try and figure out, look, okay, business didn't work. I need to get up and dust myself off. But do I go back and try again? Is this what I really want to do with my life, or do I want to do something else? And part of my introspection was going back into my life. Most people don't know what their superpowers are. And I normally ask them to start from when they were young to whatever age they are now to ask, what do people know you for? What is the one thing that over the years people have said, I love the way you dress, you're so pretty, you are always the funniest guy in class, you're always the smartest girl in class, to say that might be your superpower. And one of the things you need to do in life, if you want to live a full life, is to find what your superpower is. I've had a big mouth since I was very young. I've been searching for truth since I was very young. And I've been wanting to share whatever truths I uncover since I was very young. How do I do that in the best way possible? I'd already written books at that time. I'd done some speaking events, and podcasting was mainstream. And I was like, I enjoy doing this, so why not? I started making videos every single day for Facebook. And then soon, before I could even think about it, I was in podcasting. There's a history of that and how I got into that, but that's how I got into now. But my biggest thing is researching, finding out what's going on. I literally today drove around Eswatini looking at some of the stores, remembering that when you go into the stores, for example, you guys celebrate your royalty in the stores. Mm-hmm. We don't really do that. I think the churches in South Africa do that. The ZCC church and the Shongwe church. They praise their leaders. We don't do that. So there's a curiosity. Who are these people? How do they operate? How did Eswatini become a country? Researching bushfire, the example that I made. 23,000 people visit every year from over 50 countries. They pump in between 50 to 80 million emalangeni every year. Who actually benefits? Who's making the money? Why are there Chinese people here? Why are there Muslims? Like, I've got a curious mind. And I'm always looking to research and dig, and I ask people. And then after finding that, I try to organize my thoughts And the best platform for me currently is through video, engaging with people. I ask controversial questions, not because I'm trying to be controversial, but because I'm trying to get people to engage. Normally when you share stuff that's known, people are like, oh, and they just scroll past. But if you ask something that actually touches their heart or even their mind, they engage, whether out of anger or excitement. And I do that so that we can actually start having a conversation. And that's essentially what I do. I collect information, I process it, I share it with the world so that I can learn as well. And I've been enjoying the journey. It's allowed me to travel the world. It's allowed me to connect with amazing people like yourself. And I'm trying to see how we can make an impact doing the things that we do. And for me, my voice and my mind is what I have. And I'm trying to use it to make a change.
Yo. This guy speaks a lot.
I'm trying to be like you.
Not me. Listen. So now, how does a normal day of Penuel the Black Pen do? What do you get up to? Because you just told that you left a corporate job. What do you do? Besides making videos, how does a normal day look like?
My life has changed in the past 3 years, but if we were to maybe just use this year as an example, I film about 3 to 4 times a week. I work with 3 different studios in Johannesburg specifically. I consume a lot of content. So everyone's on social media, I think. The difference between me and most other people on social media is that people don't curate their social media. I'm very intentional. If you go on TikTok, Facebook, YouTube as well, there's these buttons where you can actually press not interested. Or there's these buttons, sometimes it's 3 buttons, where you can actually click and say, I want to see more of this. So when it comes to news, when it comes to current affairs, when it comes to economic and business, I consume a lot of that. So when I wake up, I'm always on my phone. Where other people might be catching up on celebrity gossip or following whatever they follow, my news feed is just pumping me full of information. And this happens the whole day. I'm in my DMs a lot. I get a lot of messages across platforms. I respond to a lot of emails. I spend time sometimes during the week sending invoices because I do social media marketing. I catch up with a lot of stakeholders. I work with production. Shout out to production. I work with a lot of different guests and people who want to be guests and people that have been guests. I connect a lot of business people to each other. I collect a lot of business people to politicians, politicians to business people. And where I can, I send a lot of content to people that affect the world. Journalists, politicians themselves, business people, in various WhatsApp groups, various individual chats, and then I have a lot of meetings. My meetings are very informal. We're taking a walk, we meet at a coffee shop, we meet at a restaurant, and we're just finding out how can you make your business better? How can you run your organization better? What money do you need? Who do you need to talk to? What are we trying to do? And essentially, that's like a normal day for me. In the past 2 years, there was a bit more traveling, and there's probably going to be more traveling next year. Global for events, which actually really started upsetting me, which is why I didn't do a lot this year. And then every so often, I travel around the country meeting groups, normally in private, to discuss local economy, to discuss local politics, how to connect them to the right people, and how to try and solve some of their problems. I think one of the things I've been blessed with, especially with the people I've met, is I do a lot of Q&A with people I meet. So whatever your background or profession is, what is your pain point? What's frustrating you at home, in your community, in your business? How can I give you the tools and the tips? How can I connect you to the right people? How can I give you advice? And I do most of that, a lot of the time.
Speaking of questions, the first question you ask me when you go here is if I have a girlfriend. Why? Why, my brother? Of all questions, you ask me about a girl.
Are we allowed to discuss sensitive?
I don't know. Okay, wait. Wait. Well, okay. Why do you always,
Are you here to expose yourself?
why are you always wearing black?
Oh.
You're always with black.
Social media is or can be extremely violent. Extremely violent. Cancel culture is real. People go on social media to project. Fix the mic? I think it's dying. I'm not sure, but I'll see how far it goes.
Okay.
People project their own issues on social media, because people are frustrated in their own corners. And once you start becoming a known figure, people are constantly looking for things that they can weaponize to destroy you. Your family, your friends, your children, whether you have money or not, who they saw you with, etc. And I made a decision this year to stop posting my children because of that. Because whenever we're having a conversation, because people want to trigger me, they'll want to speak. Sorry, I hope you can hear me. Because people want to trigger me, they'll want to speak about things that I care about, like my children. So I try to take away some of the ammunition that people can use, particularly because my children can't defend themselves. They're not like me. I can swear at you on social media. I can call you out. My children didn't ask to be born. They didn't ask to have me as a father. They didn't ask to be posted. So what I wanted to ask Banele was, if he's bringing up the girlfriend question, is he trying to put a spotlight on himself? Because these are some of the things that some of us have learned you generally don't speak about. Because unless maybe you're married and everyone knows your partner, you almost want to protect those things because you'll fall in love with a woman. You guys will date for 2-3 years. You'll brand her. Everyone will always know that's Banele's woman. And then once you guys break up, anywhere she goes, she has to carry that tag. And that stuff can be devastating to her and it can be devastating to you because now you've moved on with the new woman. And every time people meet your new woman, they're like, say, what happened to... And that becomes a problem. So I just wanted to say, be very careful with the personal life stuff, especially as your brand grows. Mm-hmm. But if you want to tell the peeps, if you have a girlfriend, girlfriends, wives, that's on you. I love the color black. I am what's called a minimalist. A minimalist is a person that doesn't go around buying things they don't need. And most of us from birth are marketed to hell to buy everything. We are in Black Friday weekend now, where people are literally buying things just because they're on special. Not because they need them. Because I can tell you now, if you needed it, you would have bought it, even if it was expensive. But someone's out there marketed this thing aggressively, and because there was a huge special, you ended up spending money. I live a very, very minimalistic life, so I try to keep everything that I have in my life as things that I need. Whether it's a car that I use, whether it's the clothes that I wear, whether it's the space I live in, whether it's the friends that I keep. Sometimes your friends are baggage. Sometimes the reason you're drained and tired is because you're spending time with people that are sucking your energy. So I cut those people out. And when it came to a time of introspecting and trying to figure out who I am and who I want to be, one of those things became what do I want to look like? What brand and character do I want to play? If I was to become a cartoon character, what would I look like when someone makes a drawing of me? And I realized I like the idea of having a uniform. I love the color black. It's the color of ninjas. It's the color of black tie events. It's the color of respect, whether at a funeral, whether at a wedding. It's classy. It doesn't get dirty easily if you're always out in the streets. And it's the color of my favorite animals. My favorite animal used to be a lion. I changed over the last couple of years, and these days my favorite animal is the chimp. I love chimpanzees. I think human beings are the closest things to chimps, or chimps are the closest things to humans. And I think there's so much we can learn from chimps, especially in a world that is capitalistic. So I know I said a lot, but to answer the question, that's why I wear black. I love it. It's easy for me. It's easy to wash. And if ever I became a cartoon character, you wouldn't have to think too hard of the color palette. To just be black.
Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2. Can you guys hear me? Okay, cool. Now it's going down. Penuel, the black pen is in the building. Before we take things any further, I'd like to give a shout out to these gents that you see right in front of me. We'd probably put them on the credits, but we're not Khethuxolo, we're not Big Time, we're not Phambili TV, we're not Vardyphics. These guys, they make sure that this podcast is alive every time. We don't even have proper gear. We just outsource gear. Then you gear. Yes, so a big shout out to these guys for making sure who's the biggest tuk-tuk channel in the country exists. If I've missed people, we'll try to put them on the credits because we have to make sure that we let the people know that it's not easy. Of which we're gonna get to right now. My next question: how to monetize as a content creator? Because you quit a job, you left your own job. Was the corporate life? What do they call it? They say it's toxic. There, my brother. They say it's toxic. There, what happened? What made you make that bold decision to be like, you know what? I'm out of this thing, or I don't fit here. And now, how are you making a living? How are you making money through content? Because I'll ask through content because we know you for being a content creator.
Yeah.
I know you also write books, but maybe you can expand on that.
Thanks, Banel. One of the deepest questions a person will ever ask themselves is, what is my purpose? Why am I here? If you're Christian, I guess your purpose is to worship Jesus and to serve God so that you can get to heaven, if there's a heaven somewhere. If you're cultural, I guess it's to honor your ancestors and become the best person you can be, because some people decided to date and marry and make you. But some of us have got like a deeper burning question of why we're here. And we do find ourselves in spaces, good spaces and bad spaces, where as much as you're there and you're making money and maybe people are proud of you, your mom's proud of you, you've built a house, you've bought a house, you've bought a car, your children love you, you're not at peace. Your soul is crying every day. When you wake up in the morning, you're not happy. You wear expensive clothing, you live in a beautiful home, you drive a nice car, but you struggle to actually get through the day. Corporate and banking for me came very easily. School came very easily, the money was very good, but my soul was not being fed. So I knew that something wasn't right. And I think for a lot of people, they don't understand why like super celebrities, famous celebrities in America become depressed. The short answer is it's just people are not living the life that they were called for. Some of them are twice and become izangoma because they're trying to find answers. Because they go and they pray at church and they fast. Some they slaughter animals. Some buy twice. Some maybe go on trips around the world. I wasn't satisfied, and being in corporate didn't allow me to be myself. I was playing to a script. I knew exactly what needed to be done each and every day, and I knew each and every year for the next 50 years was going to be largely the same. Chasing promotions, chasing bonuses, trying to make money for investors. But by the time I die, no one will remember me. No one will know who I am and why I was even here. My family might know me. Hey, you know, our father used to work in banking and he was a senior executive. But in the real scheme of the world, no one really cares. And I wasn't at peace. Mm-hmm. Corporate is toxic to people that shouldn't be there. Podcasting, content creation will be toxic to people that shouldn't be here. The music industry will be toxic to people that shouldn't be there. Running multiple businesses and making billions every year, there are people in the world that take their lives. And you're like, but you're rich. Kanjang. That person should not have been there. And I think one of the reasons I use my voice is I'm just trying to get people in their corners, in their homes, in their cars to actually just stop and think like, am I living the best version of my life? And if I'm not, how can I take the steps to do that? I don't know if I'm living like the ultimate for myself, but I know that where I'm at right now, I am much happier, more free, more at peace than I ever have been, and I'm closer to being my true self. And if there's a God somewhere, and if there are ancestors within me or outside of me watching me, I'd like to think they are much happier seeing me living the life that I'm living now. And that's the reason I left corporate. But I do know that there are people that were born to be in corporate. That is where they're at their happiest. That is where they make money. That's where they travel the world. That's where they make an impact. And they are known for it. I was just not born for that.
How do you make money now?
I don't have money.
No, one, two. One. I don't want to bother in your mic.
Okay.
You need to answer. You're here to answer. You're here to answer today. I have this post. I'll take you on some of the things that you posted. I wrote them down. So I hope you remember. This one was...
I mustn't answer about money. You guys want to know about money?
Yes, please.
Do you want to know about money?
Yes. I'm not pocket watching like that.
Definitely. Do any of you guys create content online? One. Do any of you want to create content online? You creating or you want to? You're an artist. Dope. Musician, you mean? Okay. Does anyone want to create content online? You're right. Okay.
Guys, you don't want to make money online.
You want to make money online? Okay. The world is changing and we don't know how far artificial intelligence is going to come through and make all of us irrelevant. All of us. It might not. I don't know. We used to have, or we have calculators. Before the calculators, there were maths teachers. I just saw a post recently. There were maths teachers that were protesting in America that calculators are going to steal our jobs. Then the calculators came. Today, kids can just speak to their phone or to their computer and it can calculate algebra or trigonometry or whatever the case may be. So for some of them, calculators are obsolete. Artificial intelligence is coming. We don't know if it's going to kill jobs or create jobs or how the world is going to look. In the meantime, people that are not creating content online, whatever profession they are in, are going to become more and more irrelevant. Because when I come to Eswatini and I'm looking for food or accommodation or a production team, where do I go? I don't go to a shop and a notice board. I don't go to a telephone directory. I don't even ask people that I know around me. I go onto my phone and I ask the internet. A platform like LinkedIn has become if you work and you're not on LinkedIn, it means you're not serious. It means you don't exist in the working world. Once you have a LinkedIn account, I don't know if you guys have LinkedIn accounts. That's content creation. You are creating content on a platform. You may not see it like that because you're not dancing and you're not podcasting, but you're telling something about your life and your offering so that the world can know about it, so that recruiters can find you, so that customers can find you, etc., etc. And the people that are not doing that are becoming irrelevant. Now, to the question about money, at least from a content creation space, you can tell your story and hope that people will see and send you a DM and book you and whatever the case may be. Or you can make money because some of these platforms are now starting to pay us. Because their big selling proposition is to sell ads. Silicon Valley, America, Google, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, their whole business is selling ads. But they need people's attention. And that's where we become their slaves. Because we work for them for free to entertain other people so other people can come and watch our content so that they can sell ads. Some of them do subscription and then some of them sell our data to other people, third-party data, which some people feel is immoral. But that ad money that is being made, they're starting to share it with us. YouTube has paid $100 billion in the last 4 years, globally. Meta, which is Facebook mostly, is now starting to pay creators for people that are interested. TikTok is not paying Africans, but more and more of us are trying to raise our voices so that TikTok can pay us. There's money to be made there. And the reason I started with AI is because if AI takes your job and you are unemployed and you are not creating content and no one knows you and you're sitting at home, I can tell you now, I know kids in high school, I know kids who are unemployed who are making 10,000, 50,000, 100,000 a month now because they started creating content. They started off just posting the work that they do. They ended up maybe being retrenched. Now they run themselves and they invoice themselves and they run their own business from the internet. So besides how to monetize, which is like a whole masterclass on its own, I implore each and every one of you to create an online persona because we don't know where the world is going. And if you're not available online, if you're not learning cryptocurrencies, you may become obsolete. You can go and live in the village and fetch water from the river and plant your own trees. If you want that, that's okay. That's a beautiful life. But if you want to live in this money world, which we didn't choose, by the way, it was forced onto us, and we're trying to win. The world is shifting, and the world is going digital. And people have online profiles and personas. And if you're not starting to build that for yourself, when the world goes fully digital and everything is crypto, and the way that we value you as a person is based on your online valuation, you will become worthless. Doesn't matter what school you went to, which family you're from. Everyone will be like, who are you? They'll try and scan you on their phone. You won't pick up. And they'll be like, do you have a crypto wallet? I want to send you a payment. What's that? You want to speak using AI or create, where's your content? Nothing. There's nothing I can do with you. So I implore you guys to do that. But I think in terms of monetizing, there's so many things that we can teach you guys. For every different platform, there's a different strategy. Imagine that every platform is a different sport. It's a different game. And study each platform in that way. Find the top 10 most famous, most successful, richest people on each platform. And then figure out how they make money, what their content is. Like any other business, like being a musician. What is the music that is trending now? Find out where the guys are performing, which studios they're using, how they market, who's their manager. And then you can start making money in that way. But those are some of the things that I think some of us consult for people that are serious. I hope you guys will have your jobs in the next 5 to 10 years. But in case you don't, please start creating content online just to have that profile, but also then thereafter, you can actually start learning how to monetize on the platform and also off the platform, just because now people know you and they trust you and they're willing to do business with you.
Thank you, my brother. Just to make another announcement, please make sure that if you have questions, you can just come to this mic and we'll be willing to take your questions, maybe in the next 5 to 10 minutes. So please make sure you get your questions ready. Procreation.
No, Baba, you wanted to read posts. Oh, this guy.
Okay, cool.
What about procreation?
No, you are known to be the procreation god also. I was with Melusi earlier, and he was telling me that on one of your videos, I missed it. I'll start with his. He said, there's a video where you said, to any lady that's willing to have a child.
Aye, bro, that's AI. I told you guys about AI, most.
You said, to any lady that's willing to have a child, I'm available as Mr. Mlot. Is that true?
No. That was a joke. Ladies, I'm sorry, that was a joke. I'm sure that's an old video, man. I must have been... I must have been doped. No, that's
So you're taking it back. You said it, but now you're taking it back.
Do you guys have children? Yes. Are there any of you that don't want to have children? 1, 2. You don't want children? Why don't you guys want children? You can just shout it out. Sorry?
He's from Namibia, by the way. Shout out to him. He's from Namibia. He came here for the podcast.
It almost sounded like Namibia was catching strays. No, it's from Namibia. He doesn't want children, this one. Sorry, sir. You're saying there are many children in the world. The brother at the back there, sorry. Why don't you want to have children?
Man.
Oh, imali.
Man.
Oh, okay. I really think one of the main reasons we're all here is to have children. I think it's the only real legacy you can ever leave. You can try and change the world and influence and impact people, but imagine if everyone didn't have kids. There'd be no legacy. So I'm very pro having children. I support what Elon Musk says in that regard, but he's mostly speaking for white people, because white people have got they've got a problem. They're going down here. I think South Korea is also struggling. Russia is also struggling. They're even incentivizing in Russia, I think. If you're in Russia, Putin gives you money for a hotel and all these nice things. I believe in having kids very much. I think I was born to be a father. I love being a father, and I've always wanted to have a big family.
I'm sorry. How do you deal with baby mama drama?
I don't have baby mama dramas.
How? Lecture us. You are here to let us know because you have kids, different baby mamas. How do you manage that? Because a lot of guys will tell you that, baby mama drama, all of that. So how do you manage to operate that?
All of you know Sopoza? Yeah. You know how many kids you have?
70. 200 and some.
200. I think all of us here, if we were to combine our kids, are nowhere near that guy. I used to fantasize about having 100 kids, by the way, but I realized this was impractical, especially because we live in a time where we have to be present fathers, and we need to try and do best by our kids.
You said 100 kids.
100, yeah. It was a warrior. I think he had 210 children, 70 wives or something like that. Those are real soldiers. Abu Solomon, you know what I mean? Look, the world has changed. So what I normally advise guys is try to have 2 kids. It's a good number. It's a balanced number. You can sort of carry that weight, even from a money perspective. Try and have 2 kids. The other thing about having 2 kids is at least it replaces you and the mother of the child. So at least that becomes legacy. That, look, we were here. These kids will tell you the story of, our parents were here. It's not like they were not here. With that being said, try to have children with 1 woman, if you're a man. If you're a woman, of course, try to have children with 1 man. Because we are now free, freedom comes with problems. Freedom comes with huge problems. Part of the problems is that I commit to you, lady, when you don't like my flavor, when I no longer have money, all of a sudden you see banelewjlm, dressed in Ikleri clothing. Now I'm a fuck guy. So what happened with freedom is that the entry into relationships has become much easier, and the exit from relationships have become much easier. And what happens with us is that people will date 10 people, maybe before they get married. And then in those 10 people, sometimes you come back with a goodie bag, with your party pack, which is called a child. So then you end up having, let's say, baby mamas. How you try to deal with baby mama drama as a man, you try your best to provide for your kids with what you have. And be honest. Because a lot of guys are depressed because they're trying to meet a lifestyle standard set by the mother that they can't afford. So be honest, but do the best you can. Be present for your children. Presence doesn't mean movie stuff. Oh, baby, let's go for ice cream. No. Being present is your child watching you podcasting. And I remember watching my father and I saw him working with the production guys. I saw them stressing backstage. I remember the things he did and he inspires me. No one has to tell me about that guy. I used to see him. That's being present. So if you can try and do that, it doesn't matter how the mom feels, especially if you guys are no longer together, as long as you're doing your best. But we are human beings. People get upset. And we must remember that our sisters are not like us. They are more emotional than us just by nature. So we need to try, when they are being emotional, to just be understanding. Sometimes it just means when she's shouting at you, you just put on earphones. She mustn't see them, of course, because she'll get angry. And then afterwards, oh, babe, I'm so sorry. And then you take the earphones out and you keep moving. So just as a man trying to manage, but also try and be in groups, man, with other fathers, especially older fathers, who can try and give you advice on how to navigate the world. But it's not easy. Dealing with women, especially exes, that maybe left you because you were cheating. And now they've got a nuclear weapon called a baby that they can detonate at any time. You want your child, you're crying for your child. She's like, yeah, I've got the power here. It's very tough. But you must just try as a man because at the end of the day, you're trying to raise healthy kids.
I read one of your posts, then I think we'll take questions from the audience. So I'll need you to expand on some of the things that I've noted down here. On one of your posts, you said, ladies, if you are sleeping with men you are not married to, you are not cultural. Tell your family to stop asking for damages because you are not cultural and you've been sleeping with men you are not married to. Please expand on that, my brother.
Why do you bring
Just knowing for a lady that's been engaged in sexual intercourse. That's what you are saying here.
when you want me to get in trouble is why you brought me here.
Yes, my brother.
Guys, I've got nice posts like I really love our women. You guys contribute to the world and those nice things. Those posts never come up. Those ones. Those ones get 2 likes. Those ones.
You wrote them. I like them.
Many people are living a fake life. And in the living of the fakeness, we end up causing more harm than good. Marriage, in the way that it was formalized, from a Western perspective, was done so that women are protected, because women were second-class citizens. They were children, basically. So a woman couldn't own a property or land. And the only way she would be protected is either living under her father or being married. So that also if her husband passes away, she can inherit that land or property. So to protect the woman, you would sign a marriage contract so that she is protected, so that she is not left vulnerable. The world has obviously changed today. Today, women are empowered. They can buy their own property, their own land, they can build their own wealth. That's number one. Number two, marriage formalized from a cultural perspective was done to bring families together, and it was done to preserve purity. The woman would be a virgin. We don't speak about this, but the man would also be a virgin. And you'd bring those two together to build a family. Today, as I said, we've got freedom. By the time you get married, the whole of Zuluini has seen you naked, type of situation. And that becomes a problem. So when women, specifically women, this was aimed at women, but also to men. When a woman wants to demand and dictate, you're dictating something that you already are not living. You have already violated the cultural code of your own family. You've never apologized to your family. You've never slaughtered an animal. You've never had a ceremony. You've been living your best life, my sister. But now all of a sudden you've met Banelewjlm because he thinks he's a cool guy and he wants to marry you. And you want to demand and dictate things of him, which is not fair. And I do wish we could have these conversations to say what was the initial reasoning behind why we did these things. And now that they've changed, how do we preserve the principles without disrespecting each other, disrespecting ourselves, disrespecting our ancestors? And the other part of formalized marriage is also church, also purity. But again, you've been fornicating, you've been sinning, you've been getting drunk and sleeping with random people. Now all of a sudden you want to stand in church like a virgin bride with a white veil in front of your own God and dictate to this man that he must pay dowry. So some of these posts that I post that end up being controversial, it's normally because I've been having conversations with people and they end up triggering me, and I realize that I need to say this to the world because there's a lot of damage that's been caused out there. And if no one talks about it, nothing changes. And sadly, South Africa is big on GBV, gender-based violence, which is a term I hate, by the way. I think that the conversation is around violence against women, to be honest. I think that's what they want to talk about. One of the ways to lower violence against women is to have these conversations, because there are men that feel entitled to a woman because they've paid a lobolo for her. There are men that feel that because you're my wife, I now own you. You can't do what you want. But now if we were to have these conversations, then you understand that your woman is empowered. The way that you guys get married becomes different, such that when she wants to go away, when she wants to live her own life, you remember, this is an empowered free woman, I don't own her. And she also didn't force me to take out a loan to pay to marry her. So I shouldn't get as emotional as some of the guys get. And that's how we know things like violence against women.
Okay. Guys, you have your questions ready. Our questions ready. So please, like I said, if you have a question, you'll have to come right to this mic right here so that you are able to be audible enough. Then you can start by, Kent, are you ready with the questions, or should I continue asking one more question? I must ask one more. Okay, cool. May I have a lot of questions? I never run out of questions. Once again, please make sure you subscribe, hit the notification button, comment, most importantly, share. It's very important for you guys to hit the subscribe button because it helps the Rockstar family grow, it helps the YouTube channel grow. And you know what, and now we got you because the live podcast, you couldn't be here. A lot of people wanted to come, but they couldn't come. So we got you guys. We pre-recorded this out of loud, so you're gonna be watching this. Unfortunately, we couldn't be live on YouTube. But as time goes, we'll be able to be live.
That's dope.
Thank you. This one was on the 9th of November. You said the more you travel and engage with people, the more you begin to accept that some people are designed to be poor and some are designed to be rich. Please expand on that, my brother. You said the more you travel, the more you begin to accept that some people are designed to be poor and some people are designed to be rich.
I've lived most of my life assuming that the reason why people are poor is because of lack of access to information. I thought that if everyone had the same information, number one, and then had the same opportunities, number two, we'd all be successful. And it's really broken my heart over the years to realize that even with all the information, even with all the opportunities and the platforms, people still are poor and struggling and depressed. We can have a deeper conversation about why that is. Is it genetically how you're designed? Maybe you come from a poor family and you guys maybe are scared of taking risks, making money, opportunities, or is it something else? Is it structural? Is it the system? But again, I think I was traveling at the time and I just had an epiphany to be like, I was in a space where people had all the information in the world and all the opportunities and they were squandering them. And in my head, I was like, I think some people are just designed. Some people are just designed to be poor. And I think maybe one of the things we don't speak about or that we're not taught, especially from home, is figuring out who you're supposed to be in the world. Not all of us are meant to be CEOs or business owners or managers. Some of us, and this is going to be difficult to understand, some of us were actually designed to just be ordinary workers, to just be followers, and to do the best we can where we are. Because even historically, we're at a beautiful venue here. There were people that laid the bricks here. There were people that put these structures together. There are many different people that are so-called unsung heroes and unsung soldiers. No one wants to be known as that person because I'm not going to lay bricks. What do you mean? But the reason we can have a beautiful venue like that is those people. And if you've ever had a chance to travel to places like China, those people there are very humble in their service. They have an understanding that I'm not going to be the big boss. I'm not going to be the billionaire, but I know that I'm going to contribute to whatever this guy is doing. I'm going to work in the shop. I'm going to become a customer. I'm going to post about the beauty of Eswatini as an example. And that is my contribution. And just by design, we're not all going to make it. We're not all going to be rich and successful and famous. There's a movie called Fight Club, one of my favorites, with Brad Pitt and Edward Norton, where one of the quotes in that movie is Brad Pitt saying, many of us as we grow up start realizing that we're not going to be rock stars. We're not going to be rich. We're not going to be successful. And we're starting to get pissed off. And you find that with a lot of people, especially ages 30 to 35 to 40, not married, not rich, no kids, not famous, and life starts hitting them hard, and they start becoming depressed. And that's where you start realizing that you are lied to. We're not all going to make it. And if anything, most of us are not going to become anything of substance. But the question is, what is your role? Where should you be playing, and how can you be the best at what it is that you're doing to contribute to the whole? How can you plant the seeds? There's this nice quote. How can you plant the seeds of the trees whose shade you won't get to enjoy? And you're like, that was my purpose, to plant the seeds. No one will know, but I know future generations will enjoy the fruit or the shade. But it was basically to say that, to say, as I travel more and more, I realize that some people are just meant to be at a certain level. And it doesn't matter how much you speak to them or inspire them, or there's nothing you can do. They will not change.
Thank you, my brother. Questions. We're ready to take the questions right now. How's that mic? Is it working? Okay, we can use this mic, please.
What's that one? Big. Bring that one. Please start with your name and question.
Both.
Yes, so the mic.
Testing. Can you hear me? Yes or no?
Yeah, you can hear
Oh, you can hear me. First off, thanks Bahle for organizing such a unique way to spend a Sunday. This is the first time I've attended a podcast recording.
Hey, thank you.
And thanks to the sponsors and the guys behind. And thank you very much, Mr. Penuel, for gracing us with your presence.
Thank you, sir.
I have a question regarding your beliefs in in the existence or inexistence of God. I've heard you try to clarify whether you're an atheist, agnostic, or theist, but I never really got to hear you say what you actually believe when it comes to whether God exists or not. And if yes or no, what was the knockdown argument that led to your disbelief? I don't know if that's clear.
Jeez, that's a very deep question for a Sunday. Are we not going to be hit by lightning? Thank you, sir. Sorry, we didn't get your name.
Oh, sorry. My name is Tando Shabang.
Thank you, Tando.
Yes.
Thank you, Tando.
Let me start with the last question because that's the easier one.
Okay.
I think it was in my third year at university, I spent my summer holidays reading the Bible from cover to cover. And it was after reading the Bible that, number one, I realized there's a lot of stories that people don't know that are very scary and shocking.
I will test.
Number two, I realized that I can't go around being an ambassador for this book.
Okay.
Now that I've read it, there's no way that I can go out and be like, no, this book is my life guiding principle. And from that time, I said, I'm no longer Christian. I hadn't figured out where I fit in the world, but I said, I'm no longer Christian. And then I started searching for so many other things. I see we've got an Islamic brother in the audience. Salam, my brother. Thank you. In my whole journey, part of it was anger. Because when you find out exactly from history how Africans, especially in the southern part, were introduced to Christianity, it's not linked to a happy story. Europeans didn't come here and trade with us and help us become better and empower us and then introduce us to Christianity, as an example. I think for other people on the continent, they can have a similar story about Islam. A lot of it followed brutality, where right after being exploited, being sexually assaulted, being killed, being shafted off your land, being called a barbarian, then a missionary is brought to come and tell you Jesus preaches forgiveness. Turn the other cheek. And it felt like a pacification project for black people and Africans. So I was angry for a long time. It would take me a while to get to a point of peace where I would look at most Christians and say, but most Christians are not bad people. These are good people trying to live according to good principles. And if Jesus is their guiding light, Jesus, whether fictional or not, was a good role model. He was rebellious. He was an activist. He did hold the church to account, whether it's the Jewish church or whatever. And he was very big on peace, very big on love, very big on serving the needy, and very big on spending time with people that were called undesirable. And I said, I can't really hate on Christians. And if they take their guidance from certain parts of the Bible, it's not fair for me to be so angry. But I'd still say I can't be Christian. Fast forward to today, where now it's very tricky to answer that very difficult question of, am I atheist, am I agnostic, am I a theist, etc. I do not believe in some higher power somewhere beyond the clouds, maybe with a white beard, looking down on us, going through my DMs of prayers and trying to figure out, I don't really like him. Let me blue tick his DM. I like Penzo. So no, let me respond to his DM. I don't believe in that. I understand that that story was told by a man like me and you. And it became a very convincing story that many people bought into. Someone else can tell a story of a man underground who maybe sits there and listens to the vibrations of what you want and then brings the rain. That's a story. And depending on how well you sell the story, how exciting it is, or how aggressive you are in forcing people to believe the story, because that also happens. Your mom will beat you on a Sunday for not wanting to go to church. So you're being beaten into following, as an example. It's just a story. I had to pick what story makes sense to me. And this is not me saying I know where we come from, why we're here and where we're going. But of all the stories that are out there, this is the story that I like the most. And people that follow Allah and Prophet Muhammad, that's the story they like the most. People that follow Buddha, people that are just saw the National Baha'i Center, people that want to follow Baha'i, people that want to follow Judaism, because they're like it's older than Christianity and Islam. People that want to follow Scientology, because it's whatever, it's a story, and you like it. The story that I like is my whole existence, me being here, only came to being with my consciousness, mine, no one else's. So my consciousness is my creation. And it's my creation of everything. So I created my reality. Why am I here? I get to decide. Engaging in the environment and the dynamics I find, whether it's to liberate black people, become a billionaire, whatever the case may be. Where am I going? I can decide. I can be a Buddhist and believe in reincarnation. I'll come back as a tree or as a cat. I saw cats in the back. Or I'll come back as your grandchild.
I almost said Cat Matlala.
No, I don't know that guy, Chief. This is not Woolworths. My understanding is once my consciousness ceases to exist, of which we get practice every day in what we call sleep, our consciousness goes into a subconscious space, a realm that we can't really control. Once it ceases to exist, I will create a new consciousness. What does that look like? I don't know, but I also don't care because I'm enjoying this consciousness so much. So that makes me God. I'm the God of my life. I'm the center of my universe. The sun spins around me. The whole world spins around me. And if, when I die, everything disappears. And that's all that matters.
Thank you very much. I think I understand where you are with regards to. So I understand you can reject the Bible, you can reject the Quran, you can reject all the religions. I just wanted to understand where you fall in terms of the creation of the universe, because those stories can be true or not true. That's a different argument than does God actually exist. That's a whole different. That has nothing to do with religion, right? So I just wanted to understand. You said you don't believe that there is a creator, right? No. So in your world, how do you account for the existence of everything? Before we get to your conscience, because I do have just one more question with regards to that, then I'll sit down. But how do you account for the existence of the universe and everything? If, let's just say for argument's sake, all the religions are false. That still leaves the question as where does everything come from? So I want to understand what you think about that.
Before I answer you, which story do you like the best? of creation?
No,
Before I answer you, which story do you like the best?
none of them.
So
Wait. That's why I didn't want to answer you, because then we'll get to me. We can get to me later. I want you to. I just want to really peek into your brain in terms of what you understand as far as you've thought about this, right? Because if you lose the religion, then you do have a lot of work to do, right?
A lot of work.
A lot of work to do. So I just want to understand, in far as your conception of the universe and where it comes from, where are you? Where is everything coming from, right?
So the honest answer is I don't know.
Yes.
And I know a lot of people struggle with giving that answer.
I
I
know.
don't know. But as I said, there's stories.
Yes.
Some we like and some we don't like. There's a movie called, it's one of the Marvel movies, The Eternals, which borrows from Hinduism, of which Hinduism is much older than Judaism, Islam, Christianity. They have their holy scriptures called the Vedas and their own stories of creation. And The Eternals, as a Hollywood movie, plays around with those concepts of where creation actually comes from. And in that story, it speaks about life and planets almost being batteries, where they are created to build an energy force so that you can create this creature that can go and create more. That's just a story that some people like. There's another story that's also quite nice by, I think it's a lady called Andy Ware, called The Egg. And in it, if it's a she speaks about how all of us are the same creation. And how there's an interception where you die in a car accident and you meet a so-called creator. And in that, you have a conversation. And in that conversation, one of the things that comes out, or the main thing that comes out, is that you are every single human being you've ever met at different times. And time is not linear. You can go back and forth in time. And the whole purpose of your existence in meeting all these good and bad people that are a reflection of you is for you to grow up. So that once you have reached full maturity, you are now ready to ascend and become a god yourself and go and create your own creation with your own people. I currently, story that I like is that I created this world and this universe, because without me, it does not exist. Before I was born, before I was conscious, there was nothing. And even the concept of history is all my creation. History books, who created what? That is the only thing I can hold on to for now. But it is a story. And it is not as good a story as some of the others, but it's the only story that I like. Because the other ones where we all go back to Adam and Eve as an example, and then Adam was molded like Pinocchio and Geppetto or Frankenstein. Was just molded by a person who maybe was bored on one day and then decided to take a rib and then make a woman. I don't like that story. I like the story that there was nothing before me.
Okay.
And now that I'm here, everything exists. Not just moving forward, but even back in time. That is all mine. But the real answer is I don't know.
I like that one.
You like that one.
Yeah.
That's the, okay.
That you don't know, because when you say nothing existed before you, or like, obviously that's wrong. Your mom can tell you that I met your dad before you were here, right? That's obviously that can't be true, right? Sorry.
Does my mother exist to me if I don't exist?
Your mother existed before you.
No, I'm asking you, if I don't exist,
Yes.
does my mother exist to me?
But that's circular. You
Yes.
don't exist. So there's nothing we can
So
say.
there's nothing.
No, there's no to you if you don't exist.
Thank you.
So I can't say your mother existed to you and yet you don't exist, right?
No problem.
Yes. So my point is, like, for example, I can plant a tree, go somewhere else, come back, it has grown, right? It was a seed, now it's a plant. We're using evidence from, like, my absence has nothing to do whether this tree is growing or not, right? Which is the same thing.
No, speak to them.
Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. My presence or absence has nothing to do with the actual proceedings of what's going on in the universe, right? So with you, we know a lot of people who have left us, they've died. The world is still going on. Obviously that worldview can't hold. Like it just doesn't hold. That's why I wanted to understand what you meant by God, because the conception of God is there has to be someone who's all powerful, all knowing, all these
Loving as well.
Oh yeah, all loving. But for you to say you are a God and you lack all these three attributes, you are not all powerful because you are going to die, which is a huge limitation, right? You've already acknowledged that you will pass away. And that's a huge limitation to your godness. So that's why I wanted to understand what you meant by God, because all I'm seeing is a human, right?
No problem.
Huh?
No problem. I understand you and I agree.
But you understand my confusion, right? Like when someone talks about God, I'm expecting attributes to this God.
Yeah,
That's correct.
try to keep your questions short because there's a lot of
Sorry,
people that
sorry.
would wanna.
But
Continue
that was
later.
no. He's cleared up for me. I understand. I think a bit better now. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
There's a guy that wanted to ask. Yeah. It's another question.
This guy's got a poke. I'm scared now. At least Utando came just with himself.
Yeah. I have a short memory, so I don't wanna forget.
Please start with your name and the questions short and brief. You still have chance to meet up with Penuel after.
Banelewjlm, but couldn't. I just continuing where he left. Being God Penuel, Kanye West and Shongwe doing better than you. Where do you think you will take it? Where will you take it, being God? Another question I'm interested in. I always love your conversation with Wallace. I think he's the only guy. Since I'm not in your eyes, so you hear us so. I think he does touch you there and there. But I started the last episode was quite dangerous because you were name dropping and name dropping big guys. Your commission is useless if there's no white people who are the ones really corrupt. But I'm just asking myself, in that name dropping you're starting to do, which I'm noticing, is it you willing to sell out because it's what they do? Mention names or just being genuine with it. Where are you on that part? I'm curious.
Thank you, sir. So I didn't get your name.
Bushe.
Thank you, Bushe. Are you struggling with your own surname?
No, it's normal.
Okay. From a popularity perspective, you're 100% correct about Kanye and the late Isaiah Shende. If it was a popularity contest, then I'm nowhere, right? But at least I'm somewhere, because at least people talk about me.
Okay.
The reason you raise this and Utando raises this is because this thing of where we come from, why we're here, what is a God, what is creation in, it really plagues human beings. And it's been plaguing them for thousands, if not millions of years. I don't think I'm the second coming of Jesus to come and answer those questions. But I've been looking.
No. I'm interested in how are you wanting to utilize it.
No problem.
We are talking about you.
No problem.
What have you been noticed, but how are you going to utilize it?
No problem. Thanks, Bushe. So people have been struggling with that, and for me, in the searching for the answers, it wasn't for humanity, it was for myself. Because I think when you're searching for answers in the world, it helps to actually find the answer for yourself before anyone else. And if you find what you believe to be a truth, for example, the world map is not drawn accurately according to scale, and you maybe travel, and you measure it for yourself, you're like, no, but this is true. It's important that you believe that. Convincing many other people maybe becomes a benefit, and that's okay. But if you don't believe it, or if you're using it for funny reasons, maybe those reasons are important, or maybe whatever you are searching for is not important at all. I think some of the Indian gurus go up mountains and fast because their whole thing is, I don't want people to worship me. I just want to seek truth for self. And once I find truth, I will exist. And if other people engage me and they ask me questions, I will answer. And if to them that sounds like something they like, I will answer more questions. Your Sadhgurus, as an example. So I am not trying to win a popularity contest. I was just trying to find answers for myself. And as I said again to Utando, there's a lot of things I don't know. And I'm comfortable to say I don't know. The difference between me and other people is other people say I don't know, therefore it must be true that that story is true. I unfortunately don't process like that. I'd rather sit with I don't know or go with a story, as Utando was challenging me at the end, that I can't validate. But it allows me to sleep at night because it's the only story I can hold on to. In finding my answers, what am I trying to achieve? It's to share what I'm finding, what I'm uncovering, what I'm experiencing. Next year, I decide to share more information and maybe expand on the principles because what Utando said, or what Bahle said, touched me. And then I tell other people, and maybe that speaks to them. I don't have a framework. I'm not sure what Jesus Christ, again, fictional or not, was trying to achieve. Whoever shall believe in me shall not perish. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if the story is his father sent him to be slaughtered on earth like a sheep. I don't know what their end goal was. But for many of us, once we feel we have a calling to start a podcast, you find a why. Once you can articulate that why, you just try to achieve that. Mine is not to influence the world. It's to influence the minds who are willing to be on my frequency. And if we can do good in the world, following whatever truth I think I found, I'm happy. If we cause destruction, and that was never my intention, or confusion, or there's a husband and wife. The husband is Christian, the wife is now following Penuel, and now they're fighting. I don't think what I've brought there is a healthy thing. So maybe there was a misunderstanding with this thing that I'm sharing out there is wrong. And someone must challenge it. But I do believe we exist in a world of story and narrative. Countries are not real things. You create them and people believe in them and people go to war to fight for their so-called country. Money is a story, a great story, and we believe it. People prostitute themselves. People kill their family members for money. I'm not happy with the stories we've been told because I see so many people that are depressed, struggling, not happy. And I just thought, while I'm here, what if I maybe give it a shot and come up with a different story? Kanye may have come up with his, Shongwe may have come up with his, I'm coming up with mine, and I'm sort of happy with it. And the more people take my story and they say, thanks to you, I've lost weight. Thanks to you, I have a better relationship with my kids. Thanks to you, me and my partner are happier, healthier, which they could have gotten somewhere else, but they're referencing me. I'm happy. But I am in the pursuit of happiness and peace for myself. And if other people benefit from my candle, I'm happy. If they don't, I'm very happy to tell people, please go find something else. Because maybe there's something for you and it's definitely not me. That's the one thing. Your second question was?
Are you ready to say that?
Well, you asked about name dropping and Auras. And shout out to Auras. I'm not a fan of name dropping for many reasons. But where we do name drop, where I name drop, I try to name drop stuff that is publicly available. I meet a lot of so-called powerful and influential people that have a lot of secrets. And I'd like to think I'm a very trustworthy person. And I would never share that. Number one, there's nothing to benefit for me. Number two, what tends to happen when someone, it doesn't matter who it is, trusts you with something sensitive, and you share it with the world, other people that care about you and like you will now not trust you. Because, yes, that guy is a criminal and is corrupt. We get it. But when he told you, Ket Mashala, what he was doing, in confidence, it was because he trusted you. And now you're coming to share it with people, which means you're not trustworthy. I will only share that stuff once someone else breaks it. So a lot of the people I was mentioning, some of the so-called capturers, are people that are, you can go research them. That's why I encourage people to go and look them up, those names. But the reason, and I said this much earlier, I've been in the pursuit of truth and knowledge. I realize that so many ordinary Africans don't know why we're here and who puts the deals together. And I think I am limited in my capacity. But if someone else was to have the same information, they can use it to build a better Africa for all of us. Because I'm clearly limited, but I just know something that they may not know. But if they can take that and go work with it, they can do much more. I am not ever in my life going to sell out, ever, because what guides me, number one, is not money. And number two, it's not fame. And number three, it's not being liked. I'm in the pursuit of truth. And truth is one of the things in this world that is very rare. It's very debatable. You think a truth is a fact, it's not. And then after that, I want to share things with people that I think will add value to their life. And that's all. If I can get compensated for it at the highest level, I'll definitely do that. And if that means selling out, cool. If it means working with white people who are called bad names, I don't mind. But I know my truth and what I'm trying to achieve. I also know I'm not trying to help.
Sorry, to me, that's working with someone because he is a certain kind of race or that's not selling out. Selling out, it's limiting certain beliefs. If you ask limiting certain beliefs or limiting certain information you have to people and saying, or even going to an extent of lying that one black, one yellow is the ass. And in a way, sometimes you even sell bad products. That's selling out to me. Last one. Please don't show people how to take this question. I've seen your tweets. You're trying to correct women now. Don't do this, why way, whatever. But my question is, do you think you are not wasting your time to try to make women accountable? One, then two, if it's really working, do you have one snake who knows everything? You have seen my idea and you read my ideas, but if you ever seen, it means you view anyone's deal. If you ever just one person, it is enough proof that I'm you are right to blah blah blah. But I'm really curious on that part. In your time trying to put you in a control. Thanks.
Put away the mic, Baba. Hey, that's enough. To answer your question very briefly, man, I think whenever you try to
Keep it there.
add value to the world, I think the goal should always be to try and positively influence one person. And I think if you can positively influence one person, you've done everything. So trying to influence all women or most women or a lot of women, it may not work, especially because I don't think I'm the type of voice that generally women would listen to. But I hope that specifically that tweet, and I did one today directed at men, if we are serious about lowering violence between men and women, we need to have certain conversations which for some odd reason, they don't want us to have, which means they're actually not serious. There's a reason why some men hate women. There's a reason why some women hate men, cheat on men, send killers. But we don't want to talk about it. We just want to make noise at a surface level. So I was just trying to go a bit deeper. And if I can influence one woman, one man, that means one less victim. And if I can have one less victim because someone read a tweet and the woman was like, hey, I hate that guy Pen, but I remember him saying, I'm good. In terms of slave queens, Baba, two the last level is when they, in church, daughter of the Most High. So they also go through their own journeys. And I think we mustn't be too harsh on the slave queens because most of them normally have like a valid story for why they are where they are. And we need to be understanding into childbirth. Thank you, Busha.
Okay. Please, let's try to get the questions short and brief. Remember, we still have time with him after. So just get right to the point. One question, so that we all have enough time. How many people are left that would like to ask the question? Are you still asking a question? Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So imagine everyone has to ask the question. Or 6, sorry. 8, 9,